And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at the newest Dice Masters set, the Dungeons & Dragons. This is the second set. This is Faerûn Under Siege. This is as all the Dice Master sets, you can buy a starter set, which is enough for one person. Technically enough for two people, but whatever. One person, and you can buy two starter sets and be perfectly fine. Or there's lots of booster packs where you get 2 dice and 2 cards. And so there's a lot involved with this. If you have never played Dice Masters before, I'd recommend you look at my last Dungeons & Dragons Dice Master review or one of my first Marvel Dice Masters to explain how the game works. This is mostly for people who've already played the game to see what new stuff is included. Here we go. So we'll start out by taking a look at the dice for the game. First of all, you can see that there are the basic dice here, and in this set they're pink, cyan, gray, and orange. Even if the orange ones, that's definitely yellow, but whatever, it's not that big of a deal. The dice themselves, there's cool dice. I think this is the first Dice Master set, and I don't know if you can see this very well. Let's try to get closer and take a better look at it. But this one actually has sparkly stuff in it. So that's a new kind of die. And of course they always have a couple dice, like the potion here. The potion is this one. You can see these okay on my hand, but these are always more difficult to see. But that doesn't mean translucent is bad. There's a couple of the translucent ones which look really, really nice. I feel like these are nice and clear and easy to see. And then, well, of course, the gelatinous cube translucent die. This is probably my favorite one of the set. It's a crisp, clear, translucent green. And there's some other cool dice. And here's another sparkly one. I mean, why would we not make these? I like that. I hope that they continue to do that. And you can see the rest of the dice are your traditional colors. But you're here really to see the new cards that are in this set. Now, I'm not going to show you every card. I don't even have every card. But I can show you at least every creature, I think, except for maybe some of the rare stuff. First let's take a look at the 8 different cards. There's 3 of each type, of course, that come in the regular set, the base set. So we have the Hill Giant here with Overcrush, as well as Glabrazoo. And I'm going to say this right now at the very beginning of the video, I do not have a D&D pronunciation guide, so I'm just going to go around here. He has Overcrush, which is nice. When you have this person, Fiend Dice cost 1 less to buy. We also have the Half-Elf Bard, who has experience, and if you've never seen the D&D set before, experience, when you're attacking with these, you have to get some counters and put experience tokens on them, and it makes them more powerful, and experience tokens can do different things for different characters. Here we have the Cockatrice, which when it's blocked, it re-rolls the blocking die, and if it's an energy face, it's KO'd. Then we have the Bronze Dragon, which has an anti-breath weapon, which I think is really cool. There's a lot of breath weapons already in the game. Here you can basically cancel the breath weapon, and if it's one of the dragons, the final one, it's even 1 less to do that. The Gnome Ranger, which this one here makes all your other attacking characters get +1 attack. A very generic basic Hellhound, which is a very cheap 3/3 to throw out there. The White Dragon, which has a breath weapon, and level 1s that are damaged by this breath weapon can't block until the end of their turn. So those are the different ones that come in the base set. Now let's take a look at the basic action cards. Here you can stick a character die from opponent's prep area into their use pile. This is actually one that I am a big fan of because many times you knock out your opponent. But this allows you then, as soon as you knock it out, to get rid of it again. They can't use it immediately. Or if they manage to pull a die, not from their KO zone, but from their prep zone. But if you can get that die into the prep zone somehow, or they put a die in their prep zone, this is a way to get rid of it. And it's pretty cheap, too. We also have Shocking Grasp, which you can deal 1 damage to a target character die. And if that character's KO'd you, we can put this die into your prep area. That's a fun one. Cloud Kill and Delayed Blast Fireball, which can do a ton of damage to a creature. We have Bark Skin, which can give you, you can't be dealt damage, or you can pick 2 guys who can't be dealt damage. We have this Blink Transmutation here. After blockers are assigned, each blocked character die does 1 damage to the defending player in addition to norming damage. I like that one. I like all these basic action cards. The chainmail, where you can give someone +4 defense, and they can't be affected by some of the when fielded things. And then you have the flaming sword, which is the attack. This is the defense, the attack here, which gives them a +2 attack and +2 defense. I like this one very much. But then here's another one, Mordekainen's sword, or whatever his name is, where here, the number of NPC dice that your opponent has in their use pile, you get plus that much attack and defense, which if they're like running a weenie deck, I have a lot of these NPC dice, this becomes very powerful. Although it's very variable, obviously. If they have nothing, it's not very useful. Then this one is my favorite of the basic action cards, and it's expensive, 5, but it's power word kill. You just kill a character that's level 2 or less. Or if you get the final one, you can kill any character on the board. Very cool. All right, let's take a look at some of the characters that come in the base set. There's some new abilities in this set that aren't in other ones. So let's take a look at some of these abilities here. We have the anti-breath weapon. I already mentioned that one. And then this guy here has the cleave. I really like cleave. If you hit someone and KO them, you can do half that damage, run it down to somebody else. Now, he's not a very powerful person, half-orc barbarian. You give him a weapon, though, he can be. But not just that, though. To NPCs, it's a great way to take out multiple people. It's a lot of fun. Wraith here has energy drain, which can make someone go down a level. But I also like him when he's fielded, get rid of an experience token. Got a problem with someone who's using too many experience tokens? Yeah. The Lich here has energy drain ×2, which is a lot of fun. Now, potions, I'm glad they added, this is considered a spell, I guess it's a spell, where this gives someone fast. Fast is another special ability where you deal combat damage before somebody else can deal it back to you. And you can give it to 2 people sometimes with this one. Then there's Fabricate, where you can basically kill other dice to purchase this die for free. So this die costs 4, so you KO a couple dice that have a purchase cost of 3 or more, and you own him, which is kind of disgusting if you think about it, but it's neat to see these Fabricates. There's the golems, and here's the clay golem, where here you can KO someone with 4 or higher to get a 6 cost one out on the board. This actually means this 6 cost guy can come out a lot easier, because it's not hard to get people who have a cost of 4 or more and KO them. And when he's active, your other character dice get +2 defense, like that. Oh, the Rust Monster. You guys remember this from D&D campaigns? Everyone hates the Rust Monster. There's 2 different ones here. They're cheap, too, where you can basically get rid of an unattached gear or an attached gear. Other than that, they're basically identical. And let's see, we got the Elf Thief here, who, if you have energy in your reserve pool, you can field him for free, and you can use an energy from your opponent's reserve pool. He's really a thief. The Dwarf Wizard here, when he's active, every time you use an action die, he does 2 damage to a target character die. So he's casting the spells and doing extra 2 damage. I like that. Look, it's Drist. Everyone likes him. And here you can get rid of 2 experience tokens to put a 3 attack and 3 defense. His Panther comes into play. So he brings an extra person out. I like this. This is a little bit of Magic the Gathering, where you're bringing in those other tokens, and this other token can't be blocked. I like that. That makes Drist a lot of fun. We also have the Intellect Devourer, where he gets rid of all the question mark energy from opponent's reserve pool. They're saving that wild energy so they can use those global abilities. No longer, my friend. Then there's a lot of cards that have to do with fiends. Here's Orcus. He counts as a fiend, so you can search your bag for another fiend character die and put it into play. Here, this guy, fiend dice cost 2 less to purchase if you're using this one. When the Hellhound is active, your fiend dice costs 1 less, and you notice he's a fiend. Aaron Eyes here is a fiend. When she attacks, return a different target fiend character die from your use pile to your field zone. So I can see some people are going to be making fiend decks here. Here, when he's fielded, you can take another unpurchased Balor die and roll it. And if it rolls a character face, put it in your prep area. So some really neat things. I really suspect we're going to see some fiend attacks. Here's another one of those Elf Thieves, where when this one's fielded, your target opponent loses 2 life when they use a global ability. Stop using those global abilities. It just makes me happy that Storm Giants are in the game. But this one's fun because you pull 3 dice from your bag, and any NPC dice you draw, you're going to do 1 damage to your opposing character for each. So it's just kind of like, I think he's throwing rocks with this. Yes, the Dragon of Justice, another breath weapon, and he has Overcrush, which means any extra damage he does. I mean, the guy has an 8/8 on his biggest ability, but when he's active, other character dice cannot use breath weapons. Yeah! Hey, Drist is back. This guy gets +1 attack and defense for each different opposing active evil character. And there's a few cards in the set that have to do with evil and good. Here's another one of the evil ones, the Black Dragon, which when he attacks, your other evil characters can't be KO'd while attacking unless he's KO'd. So you're making people go after the big dragon here. But then, of course, this guy here can just KO all evil dragons. It's pretty powerful, pretty good. Now you'll notice these are both 7s, so they're very expensive. Gorgon. When he's fielded, you roll all humanoid character dice in the field zone. And if they roll energy, they're KO'd. It's an easy way sometimes to clear out, again, some of those people with a lot of experience points. More Swarm. This was in the first D&D set. So when you bring him out, there's a possibility of bringing out multiples of him. And if he's KO'd, all goblins from the use pile go to the prep area. You're going to see some goblin decks too. Here's another Black Dragon that does damage to your target opponent for each adventure die in the field zone. Here's a Human Fighter, which makes some dice cost 1 less to purchase, so that's nice. The Giant Spider, which has Swarm. Again, to get that out, but the Giant Spider can block 2 NPCs. Your opponent's running too many of those little dweebs, the Giant Spider is going to take them all out. The Displacer Beast, another one I think D&D heroes have learned to hate, is shown up, as well as the Bugbear Ambusher. And then, of course, the Blink Dog. Who likes Blink Dogs? All right, so those are many of the characters. Now let's show you my 10 favorite character cards. So first we have Lolth here. When this guy is active, whenever your opponent attacks with 1 or more character dice, they take a damage. That's great. Now, this guy's expensive. He's super powerful, an 8/9. And your opponent can't, if they're attacking with too many people, they're going to take damage. Of course, I'm going to put a gelatinous cube. I love these things. And here you can capture unattached gear. He's like stealing your gear. I just think that's funny and thematic. This is one of the ultra rares I got. I got 2 of them. I think one of them was a Bugbear. This one, I'll be honest, it's in my top 10 cards because I've always thought the deck of many things is a fun thing. Here you name 2 different dice and you draw them. And if they're those exact dice, you can roll them. Or continue to name dice and draw dice till you choose to stop. But, I mean, really, if you get this to work once, you're lucky. It's not that fantastic of a card, actually. I mean, it could work, but it's just fun to have in existence. Here's one of the Ghosts. When this guy's fielded, remove half the experience tokens from a target adventure card. I hate playing against people who have these hugely experienced people. They're so dangerous and deadly. This Ghost is my way of stopping them. This Lizard Folk here, which has Swarm, and NPCs can't block him. That's a very simple thing. I like the fact that they can come out, you can attack, they can't be blocked by the weenies. Your opponent's going to have to be very careful. If I'm building, I don't play tournament style, but if I was playing tournament style, I would definitely use these guys. Iron Golem has that Fabricate, which we talked about earlier, but when he's active, you can redirect 3 damage from you to this character die each turn. And considering he has 8 defense, that's pretty awesome. Now, this guy's expensive, but you get an Iron Golem into your bag somehow, and you're going to feel pretty happy. Oh, another Rust monster. But this is the rare Rust monster, and I love this one. When he's fielded, the opponent has to re-roll all their equipped gear, and if they roll energy, it's gone. You have a whole bunch of swords and stuff? Yeah, not any longer. Then the Beholder. When this guy's fielded, you can use up to 2 different global abilities for free. That just makes me happy, especially since he's not that expensive. He comes with 1 global ability. You, of course, will make sure you have other global abilities in existence. That's a really neat card. Then the Potion. The targeted character gets +3 attack, +3 defense, or 5 attack and 5 defense. I just like this. It's a very simple thing, but it makes one of your guys a beast. You put this with the guy who has Cleave, and you have a good day. I'm going to potion him, and then he's going to go to town. But actually, my favorite card is also another potion, the lesser spell, the greater spell. But this one, during your opponent's next clear and draw step, they have to name all the dice. And for each die that they name incorrectly, it goes right to the use pile. Now, this is going to really, really irritate your opponent. But who cares? Well, I have to say, the D&D stuff is rapidly becoming my favorite stuff. And I love Marvel and DC, right? I love the comic books. I do, and I'm so glad that the comic book stuff exists. It's so cool, but you have to say that D&D set is so much... It's probably just a better game. And the first set was great, and it was kind of weird mixing D&D stuff with the Marvel stuff, but now you don't have to. You got 2 whole sets of D&D. There is just a lot of cool monsters and things. You saw my 10 favorite cards. I love the potions. I always have liked equipment. The basic action cards are great. You got small guys. You got some of the most famous monsters. We now have the Blink Dog and the Displacer Beast, and some of the biggest dragons, and Drist. I mean, everyone's going to want him. He's one of the most popular characters in the D&D universe ever. And so there's some pretty solid stuff. But I mean, the theming is cool. And I like to see all the different D&D references, but I'm just as big of a fan as the special abilities here. I mean, Cleave is great. I wish there was more guys with the Cleave. I like the Swarm. I'm glad there's more of that Swarm in there, and Overcrush and Breath Weapons. And I really feel like this game is starting to just take a life of its own and really offer a lot of strategic choices. It really does kind of, for me, put Magic the Gathering out because, I like Magic the Gathering, but this game is starting to really kind of incorporate many of the same feelings that I get from Magic the Gathering. Oh, this special ability? Yeah, I got a very similar one here. So this is a very solid expansion. This is maybe not the most accessible. The last one I reviewed, the Spider-Man one, was the most accessible for new players, but this one for like veteran players may be the best one they've released yet. And I'm really liking that because there's so many sets of Dice Masters out so far, and I was worrying, like, we're going to get to the point where they're just kind of churning out same old, same old. This isn't same old, same old. And the thematic connections between the cards and the dice in this one is very strong. Highly recommend it. Dice Tower Judgment into my collection.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in style. Check them out at Cool Stuff Inc.
Shut the door!